Arya Stark has been a long-time problem in Multiversus, and if you don't know what I mean, then let me take you back to a time where she was once considered the best character in the game. When the game was first coming out, or rather, when the game was still being worked on in early beta, when everything was closed off, Arya was an incredibly strong character. Almost the entirety of her, I want to say, vertical combo game was true, and players were often getting touched of death over and over. And of course, this was not fun. And so Arya has been getting nerfed for a pretty long time. But the thing about that is that if you kind of notice, she isn't exactly the easiest character to balance, and here's why. So Arya, if you look at her kit, she doesn't have the best range while having a sword. That is often a problem, especially at lower level when players want to play Arya because they always feel like they are getting stuffed out no matter what. Of course, lower level players not having the ability to space properly or struggling with spacing or not even understanding what neutral or spacing is. And so because of that, you'll often see at lower level a lot of Arya players basically being upset and thinking that she needs to get buffed. But the thing is, if you buff her too much, then she becomes a menace at all levels, and that is just something that you cannot have. But see, the issue with this is that then when it comes to top level, you'll have players being upset because she isn't as good as she used to be without really understanding that if you buff that character even a little bit too much, then she becomes an oppressive force in the meta, and it's going to, I want to say, kill the quality of the game. Her vertical combos are pretty much the big mainstay of why she is such a problem. She is a character that was designed to kill off the top and designed to chain combos together to carry you off the top. Now, if you make that too weak, then she loses her best ability in terms of killing. Not to mention, she may be able to kill horizontally, but it isn't as guaranteed as her vertical combo set with her up special into up air. Now, of course, if you make it too hard for Arya to kill, guess what happens? She loses. She is the lightest character in the game, meaning she dies very, very early. The offset for that was supposed to be she has a extremely easy time killing, a solid time killing, and of course, racking up damage. But the thing is, not only is she super light, her range is just not that great. The reason why her range isn't that great is because she is supposed to get rewarded for getting super close to you, aka putting herself at risk of getting hit or trading blows to even try to get that guaranteed damage off of a ladder combo. The issue with Arya currently in the current patch 1.02 is that the devs actually took the correct approach in balancing Arya, which makes it so that prior to this patch, whenever she hit you, her vertical combo was almost always guaranteed, making it extremely easy to perform, and for a lot of players being pretty pissed off at it and wanting Arya to be nerfed. So where we are now is they had the idea of, okay, let's actually make it so that after your up special, we'll give you more control over Arya earlier so that you can follow your opponent's knockback influence where they decide to go after the hit, so that it becomes more of a skill thing to follow up. I thought that was the perfect way to balance Arya, but currently the issue as stands is that people are actually now falling out entirely of the combo. So sometimes, and even when I play Arya, I did the up special and I noticed that my opponent ended up behind me. So there was no way for me to even get close enough to get the follow-up, or they went a little bit too far. And of course, this will be something that we'll receive further fine-tuning from player first games. But the issue is, and what I'm trying to bring up is that Arya is in a weird situation because while she may not be tippity top tier, she's also not a bad character. But it's funny enough, characters like that can still cause an uproar in the player base. And hey, DJ, spin that back. Hey, hold on, guys. Only 24.4% of you guys are subscribed to the channel, leaving 75.6% of you not subscribed. Now, of course, it is not mandatory. However, I am a man on a mission and a man with a dream, and my dream is to one day hit 100,000 subscribers on YouTube so I can get that plaque. And not only that, we are on the road to 50K at the moment, so it only takes 1 second of your time. Please subscribe to the channel if you enjoy the content, if you enjoy the vision, and of course, if you support the vision. It would mean the world to me. Now, let's get you back to what you were watching for. Much love. Take it easy. Thank you. you so much. And so because of that, the lack of consistency in her kit is very off-putting, and Arya in the current time of the meta definitely needs help. But again, how do you help Arya perfectly? If you give her a little bit too much, she becomes oppressive, and I don't want to say uncontestable, but she becomes very not fun to fight. Because a lot of the times, people equate winning with needing to be nerfed, which just isn't the case at all. Just because a character is winning, that does not mean it needs to be nerfed. Just because you're losing to a character doesn't mean they need to be nerfed as well, especially if you have not explored all options in terms of counterplay, in terms of you just ultimately becoming a better player and getting better at the matchup. For instance, for me, I think Bugs Bunny, Batman, Velma are characters that are actual problems, right? However, even though I think this, I put in the necessary work to make sure that even in their current state, I am able to beat them and deal with them, period. But with Arya, right? Arya, I want to say she didn't get second at Evo because most of the time Roger was using Velma. But if you ignore Evo, right? If you look at Arya's track record with Roger specifically, he's found a lot of success with her through each patch, you know, in these online events. And so you can't really necessarily count that character out. It's probably a byproduct too of Roger's overall skill. But when it comes to the top heavy to the lower end of like the player base, you can definitely see that there are a lot of inconsistencies and a lot of issues just with the character's balance at all. And again, it's very difficult to try to balance a character like her that depends on such, I want to say, a guaranteed combo tree to actually land kills and get strong damage while also risking herself and being the lightest character in the game. A lot of people don't look at that. They look at getting laddered over and over and over and thinking, well, this is my life now. This is broken. This needs to go. When in reality, if you take that away from Arya, she just becomes a useless character, pretty much. And you can't do that. But at the same time, when it becomes too guaranteed, too guaranteed, too strong, well, you know what happens. So basically, what I wanted to do with this video was just kind of go over the peculiar situation that Arya finds herself in terms of all the other characters in the game, because in reality, right, she's going to continue to get patched and worked on, but I want to say there still hasn't been the perfect sweet spot found for her yet. And honestly, it's just kind of disheartening to see players at one moment very happy with her, and then at the next moment hating her guts totally, because she's either too strong or she's too weak, or someone isn't putting in enough effort to learn the matchup, and then they just think that their opinion of her is justified because they keep losing, when in reality there's probably a lot more things you could be doing better versus her. And this isn't to just stick up for Arya, because honestly, I only just play her for fun. I don't main her or anything. But when it comes to that, I just think that more time is needed to actually understand her. And on another note, I think currently in this current patch, I definitely think there might need to be a hot fix to help her out, because people falling out of the combos the way they are right now is kind of making her unplayable, and I'm sure PFG knows that, and I'm sure they're on it. So at the end of the day, it just takes patience, and I think one day we will get there. But Arya is not as simple of a character at all. If you look at tier lists, look at her tier list placements from when the game came out to now. She's all over the place, right? There's a reason for that. If you guys want more video breakdowns of characters like this, be sure to let me know in the comment section below. Let me know who you'd like me to talk about. And of course, be sure to subscribe. Road to 50K. This is NAKAT. Take it easy. Peace out. Deuces.